Why, hello there. Don't you look lovely on this amazing Saturday? I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Today, Marty DeGarmo and Chris Johnson took to the internet to do another Onpassive live stream, and they had some very interesting things to say today. So without further ado, I'll roll my intro and we'll get right into it.
Karma's a bitch.
First of all, Marty DeGarmo posted this up twice on his channel for the exact same date and time, which I found quite amusing. And secondly, it's a Saturday morning, June 22nd, 2024, 10 a.m. But Marty and Chris actually recorded this much earlier because they had another webinar obligation to be at this morning. As always, Marty begins.
So much for coming. As you can see, there's no chat because we had to record this early. We are going to another webinar at 10 a.m. So we're going to keep this short and sweet. It is Saturday. I just want to say we did a Shine on Others webinar. We're going to be doing many of them. Keep in mind, if you can speak English and you're really happy with Onpassive and you think that, you know, we want to know why you're in, what it was you saw. We'd like your background. Who are you? What do you do? It's okay. And then what you'd like to get out of Onpassive. What are you looking forward to? And some of them have been very, very good. Some of them, but that's okay.
Notice how he said that you have to have a positive outlook about Onpassive if you want to go on. And Marty, the only person whose story is yours because you tell it every single fucking day.
We have plenty of time. We're never going to run out of people. Never. Another thing I want to say. Now, I'm sure Peter Rogers is watching this, but you know, everybody has kind of a nickname, right? Peter Rogers, do me a favor. Make sure you send him a message. His new nickname is Key Grip. Now, you can look up Key Grip in Google. They're the guy behind the scenes, and that's Peter Rogers.
But Marty, I thought Google was a search engine and not a truth engine.
So it's Peter Rogers, a.k.a. Key Grip. Anyway, I'm sure that'll give him something to chuckle about. Also, I want to emphasize some things that I've been saying because different people watch. First thing is, for me, and I believe this is the way the company is, you could call somebody a leader, that's okay, but I don't need to act like I'm in one level and you're somewhere else. That's not the way I see it. I believe there's one leader on this planet, and that for me is Mr. Mufareh. I want to follow him.
Notice how he said one leader on this planet, not in this company. And that's who? Ash who?
Mr. Ashwin.
Never heard of him.
I love where he's been, and I want to go with him where he's going. Why? I trust him from the bottom of my heart. Getting trust with somebody is a big deal. I'm 64 years old. I had friends when I was a teenager. I had friends when I was in my 20s. I had friends in 30s and 40s. Out of all those years, a handful I still know.
I think we figured out what the problem is here.
I could talk to a handful, 64 years. Why? You have acquaintances. But then once in a while, you run into that person that you go, man, I want to know this person for the rest of my life. Chris is one. Ash Mufareh was the one when I got here. Mike and Dan Street, you already know that answer. But he was somebody that, business-wise, in his position, and trust me, every business I've ever been in, I made it a point to try to somehow communicate with the person running the business. Because I knew myself, Mike and Dick, would invite people in. And there's been so many times that I was devastated because the person running it or the company wasn't what it was cracked up to be. And for 15 years, I was wrong. But I always had the faith that one day there'll be somebody that we can say that's running from the heart and really wants something for everyone. Was it a pipe dream? I started to believe so. But early 2019, we came in Onpassive. I found out it hit me, Peter Rogers. Why did I go to Peter Rogers? It goes back to the main thing. I worked in a business with a lot of people in the last 15 years. One of those people was Peter Rogers. And there's many people I met there, but he was the one. I trusted him.
Yeah, but I don't want to join a company because someone that I know and trust joined a company. I want to join a company because they have good products or services, you know? Maybe we're just not the same.
He never had a hidden agenda. Peter was Peter. He didn't get over, he didn't try to maneuver things. He was just an honest Abe Peter Rogers, now known as Keith Grit. Anyway, so he was a great guy. But when I got here, uh, one of the first things I asked after I asked important things to me was, is there an auto ship? No. Can everybody do it? Yes. Are we selling things that people really want?
Is there an auto ship? Yes, quarterly. You have to pay for O Connect if you want to make withdrawable commissions off O Connect. Can anybody do it? What, listen at webinars? I believe so. Wait around? Yeah, if they have patience. Are you selling things that people really want? No, not really. And you're selling them for 3 times the amount of what's already on the market.
Yeah, if you can market stupid crap and probably sell some of it. I don't want to do that. I've done that. I don't like it.
Marty, you make marketing materials on your channel every single day in the form of those short videos. Like, what do you mean? You love marketing.
So that answer was yeah, high demand, billion-dollar industry, and maybe many of them. I went, I'm in.
I hate it when they do this. Just because AI is a billion-dollar industry, the tech industry is a billion-dollar industry, it does not mean that Onpassive is now going to all of a sudden make billions of dollars. Stop doing this, damn it!
Now, at that time, it wasn't what we're in now. It's so much better. I couldn't even imagine where we are now. Thank God. But God knew, and He told me in my heart, stay.
Yeah, God appeared, did he? And he said, stay in the pyramid scheme. Yeah, I'm so sure.
You're going to be happy with where you're going, and I really am. So glad I'm here. But really, you know what really helps?
Taking an Ambien and having a nap, I feel like I could use some.
The Abbott and Costello, the Three Stooges, the Three Amigos, whatever, Two Men and a Baby, whatever you want to call it. Team up with somebody that makes you feel good, somebody you can trust. In my journey of MLMing and email marketing, I met a lot of people, and then I met Mike Ellis.
I'm Mike Ellis, by the way.
And Mike Ellis was really good friends, knew Dan Street his whole life. And from that day forth, which is 10 years now, never met either one of them, we are tight as a tick. Trust was a big deal. Do we have times that maybe we disagreed? Yes. But because of the trust and the respect we had for each other, we knew we could come back the next day and everything would be okay. And it was. It was.
Typical narc behavior, get into a big argument and then pretend like nothing happened the next day. Interesting.
All of you saw Mike Ellis's videos. He's done hundreds of them. They're known to everybody. I get it. It made a big deal, made a big pack. But many of them didn't make it to the production floor. And that was through discussion. No, I don't think you should do it. Dan might say, oh, no, it's pushing it. And it's frustrating because Mike took hours, if not days, to make one 6-minute video. It's not easy.
It's interesting to hear that these videos were planned videos that were discussed beforehand between Mike Ellis, Dan Street, and Marty DeGarmo. That's something we didn't know before. And why does it take Mike so long to make a 6-minute video? Someone who makes videos all the time, I'm a little bit concerned. He doesn't even edit them.
For one thing, to take a lot of information, put it in 6 minutes, and make sense. And he was good at it. What can I say? We all know that. But I'm saying not everything works out like it looks.
Like your fake merchant tests.
So if you can, if it's better for you, if you can team up with somebody you trust. Me and Chris are, we joke around, we have fun, but we're kind of different, but yet we're the same. Where are we the same? Where it matters. We're the same at the heart. We're identical twins in the heart.
Bitch, we twinning.
Listen, you're a product of your environment. My environment and what the road I walked was different than Chris. But at the end, when we got into Onpassive, we had a lot in common. Chris cared about other people. Ditto. Chris wanted the best for everyone. Ditto. The one thing Chris didn't do that I did, and it's a blessing, he didn't jump into all those MLMs. And I did because I knew if I put my mind to it, I could do it. I looked at it as a chess game. I'll figure this out.
Yes, out of all the things you've been accused of this past week, the major thing that we need to concentrate on right now is the fact that Chris Johnson has never been in an MLM before Onpassive. We have to set that record straight.
And by golly, I figured it out. Then guess what happened? The board got flipped over and the truth came out. The truth is, no matter what you know, Marty, you can't bring anybody with you, and you got to use people to get to the top. And I know people say, well, no, that's not true. Everybody has the same chance. They have the same chance, but not the same ability. What happens to the poor guy that is raising a family by himself, or the poor woman and working 2 jobs? Does he have 10 hours a day to work on learning how to market? No.
Is Onpassive any different than all the other MLMs? No.
And you can hear the dogs barking, and you're going to hear a clicking sound. That's me loading my high-powered rifle.
Oh, Lord.
I'm just kidding. I know people love animals. Oh my God, he's going to kill him. No, I'm just talking. Plus, I'm not that good of a shot. I'd probably shoot the cat. Anyway, well, it's not a bad idea either, but just kidding. I'm joking.
See, I feel like you know better. You knew that that was a distasteful joke just by how you're acting here. So why even go there?
Stop going there.
Anyway, love you all. Let's stay focused. I'm going to run by really quick. You see a post from different people, and they're people you know, and it's part of Onpassive. If it didn't come from Mr. Mufareh and the back office, or both, or one or the other, it doesn't concern us.
So all these live streams, Marty, that you and Chris do where you're just speculating things, you know, like this one, doesn't concern us. So why are we here?
That's as simple as I can say it. It doesn't concern us, because I know people look at it and they build this case. Another thing I want to tell you, there's some ex-LC people, Leadership Council, hated that freaking thing, that are using the LC and pushing their own agenda.
You don't say.
Be careful. Be careful. Something looks good and you might hear this is going to help. Just be careful.
Oh, the irony almost hurts.
Be careful. You know who to trust. You know the people out there every day. They're out there and they're helping. They're not getting anything in return other than the satisfaction. They love helping people. Really, I mean, I can name them real quick for you, people that I know. You got Chris Johnson. You got Mike Williams is training people every day. Julie Wynn, she breathes and lives Onpassive. Susie. I could go on and on. You know about the voice, Robin. Okay, Peter Sorer. Peter Sorer's working because he needs to, but he's as dedicated as he ever was on day one. I don't want to keep going, but I'm just saying those are a few that you know. OTech Pros. I mean, I could go on and on. Our German friends. I mean, it just goes on and on. You know who it is.
Trying to create such a big echo chamber here, it's actually ridiculous. Only listen to people that are in Onpassive. Only trust people that are in Onpassive. Very culty.
If somebody comes up there with a different package, or you could do this and make it quicker, just be careful, please. If it didn't come from Ash, don't do it. I have tricks. I have tricks that I could help you build faster. But guess what? Then you got to do marketing. That's why I'm here. I don't want you to do marketing. I don't want it.
Well, Marty, what if I told you that your entire YouTube channel was actually dedicated to marketing Onpassive? Because I got some bad news for you, bud.
What you do, everybody that you planted a seed with, even if they told you no, or they told you you're crazy, don't talk to them again. Let it go. Family's the worst people you could talk to. Trust me, I know. They'll be back. When things get rolling and we get through this bottleneck, we're gonna fly like an eagle.
Any ETA on when that's gonna be, or?
And trust me, success is very contagious. It'll be real nice when they come to you and say, "Can I get in?" It's music. It's music. Anyway, love you all. I'm gonna turn over to Chris. Like I said, I'm gonna be quick, and I was 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Go ahead, Chris.
That's pretty quick.
Not really, but go off, King.
What can I bounce off yesterday? What was that?
No, thank you.
I was imitating you.
I'm still congested right now. We are pre-recording this, like Marty said, and I had a lot of things on my mind today after our live, and I want to talk about it just for a couple minutes.
Spoiler, it's not just a few minutes. Also, spoiler, Chris goes on quite the rant about us naysayers. Get ready for this because I'm going to let him just go off for a little while on all of us.
A lot of people ask me, family, friends, why are you there? Why are you doing this? And I think for me is because it's the first time in my life that I feel hope in something that's going to put me in a different spot. I'm retired. I remember my very first day when I got hired into Mazda and Fords. I thought, man, I got it made. You know, I didn't think about 30 years, 32 plus years. I didn't think about all the hours. All I thought is everyone told me you got insurance, you got the greatest pay, and it was. It was a good paying job. It was great insurance, and retired. I did it. It was hard. It went quick. And then I think about, I have nightmares of my job actually, and I don't want to have nightmares anymore. A lot of people think, you know, I get it. I'm not going to lie. I get people say you're a cult member. I got good friends calling me I'm in a cult. And I know what a cult is. I mean, Ash isn't moving us all to an island and severing our food and splitting up and training us to. So when someone calls us a cult, I think it's funny. I think a lot of things people say to me could be mean or just, they shouldn't say it, but they do anyway because they're human beings. And from the beginning of the time, we had evil. You had God and the devil, okay? It's been that way forever. And no matter how successful or how true we are being, someone's always not going to like us. And that's okay because they don't bother me. I've told Marty a million times, we have, every once in a while off the record, we have like some political discussions. And I tell him, I guess what I try to teach people is it doesn't really matter who's doing this or doing that. It doesn't affect me personally because I go on living my life. That's how I like to think about it, how I want to live my life. And then I sit there and I listen to all your guys' stories about MLMs and did this and I sucked money into this and I lost money and now I got a garage full of product. And I'm thinking Onpassive came along probably at the perfect time because every one of us, it doesn't matter who you are. Every person inside them has a dream. From the kid that's starving somewhere in Africa right now or dying of thirst, that little kid's got a dream. Every one of us are that little kid. All of us have a goal in our lives, but probably 90% of us never reach that goal because we're afraid or someone else said, no, don't do it. Are you crazy? And I've always been the opposite of that, where if someone told me, and not in a bad way, because yeah, I'm not a big rule follower, but when someone says to me, Chris, you can't do that, I say, why? Why do you say that to me all the time? What are you doing? So when I look at all the founders, every one of you that's tried business, because when the computer came and the internet came, everyone's seen visions. Wow, we can make a lot of money off the internet. And MLMs began, they started, it was created. People came up with ways to make money, click, and I don't even know what they're called. But there's ways to make money on the internet. But it wasn't as easy as everyone thought. There was that .com era, all right, where people made a lot of money and then it was gone. It was gone just like that. A few people made millions of dollars. The other people didn't make squat and they still continue to work. When I came into Onpassive, I realized, well, I already did my time. I earned a pension, and I'm not bragging about this, but I am because I did do that. But then what's afterwards? You hear a lot of retirees or people that don't want to retire say this: what am I going to do? When I retire, what am I going to do? Now, I've never said that. And that's why I retired early, because I have lots to do. And some of those things that I really want to do is impossible for my pension or the money savings, anything that I have. Oh, it's gone. There goes that. And when I seen Onpassive, and I listened to a lot of the keywords, one of the keywords that I heard was unlimited. And from a lot of the stories I hear from you gals and guys, you know, oh yeah, it wasn't really, nothing was ever unlimited, but, and then there's this guy saying unlimited. The sky's the limit beyond. And it was very powerful for me because you don't hear a lot of people talking like that unless it's about them. And that Ash Mufareh that we always talk about, he's put this into millions of people's hearts and minds. But yet, people still don't believe it. And I say to people, oh, Chris, I got this friend, but he don't believe in it. And I said, but that's okay. He will. He will believe in it. And he'll kick himself in the butt a little bit later when he finds out what's going on with you and your business. I mean, to own a business free and clear of rent, you know, not paying salaries, not worrying about people getting hurt, unemployment. There's so much in a business that a lot of you don't understand. And you were handed a business with none of those responsibilities. Now, my job was just to go to work and get paid. I had a lot of responsibility at work, but nothing like the original owners. Payroll. Payroll is the biggest pain in the ass thing that's ever been invented. And ask any manager, they'll tell you, because they don't want to get it wrong. Because if they do, they got to hear about it. And I'm thinking all these things I think about business. I watch my mom and dad and my brother go through business, very successful businesses, my aunts, my uncles, and all the responsibility they had. And I found out that these people were working 7 days a week around the clock. And the biggest thing is, well, people didn't want to go to work. So we got to go fill in for them. And I thought, wow, that's what owning a business is really like. I looked at Onpassive again more deeper. Each time I thought about the things I didn't care for, I love Onpassive that much more. Why? Because I don't have any of those responsibilities. Honestly, the only responsibility that we ever had in Onpassive was, one, you got to pay your taxes. That's a given. And two, share the message.
Basically, Chris admits here that he wants to run a business, but he also wants to be lazy, not work hard in order to have a business, or have any of the responsibilities that a business owner would have. I find it interesting that he states that due to the responsibilities that those in his family had from running businesses, he got a negative connotation about running a business, and so he decided to join a scam instead. Makes perfect sense. Chris also touched on how he laughed when people called this a cult, and I am going to touch on that more in a few moments. Let's let him finish, because he's not done yet.
It's raining, whether you talk to somebody about it or listen, and I'm going on a little longer because Marty was quick, so I'm going to go on a little today. Very beginning of the world, when you had dinosaurs and cavemen, there were geniuses back then too, inventing things without technology. They were doing things, of course, we will never know. We just see what the history books and stuff read about it, of what they thought.
Ah, yes, back when Einstein and Newton were hanging out with the dinosaurs and cavemen. Back in those times, right, Chris?
From day one, there was someone saying, I got a better way. From day one. And for them, you know, they had to worry about hunting, getting dinner every night, every morning, every day. If they had fire, what do they do if they didn't have fire? Whereas us today, everything's push button. It's very, very simple. Listen, I don't care what you say. Even if you're going through a hard time right now, life is a lot simpler than it was cavemen, the 20s, the 30s, sorry, the crash of the stock markets, the Depression era. If you ever seen the history pictures of people standing in long lines to get one little loaf of bread for their family of 6 or 7.
Several of the people that this company has preyed on are still living in a third or fourth world country, and I just want to remind Chris of that as he goes on this very privileged rant right now.
We have it very simple. I believe Ash Mufareh studied all that kind of stuff.
Why? It's like you put Ash on this pedestal that you built him up to be on, but there's no proof of him studying history ever, or sociology, or anything even remote. Like, I don't know where you get this from, Chris. Stop this. Stop this right now.
Stop going there. And he said, let me make it even easier. And he's gone above and beyond to do this, even though people knock him down or they don't do the right thing. I want to touch on something Marty said real quick. Neither one of us will ever tell you what to do, even though that other crap channel will try to cut us up and make us look like we're saying funny things. And that's okay. Let them do it. I don't care. that other crap channel.
Oh, how rude. Also a lie, because I've never ever made Chris and Marty say something that they did not say. I play their video and then I react to it. Same with the recovering Hunbot, except sometimes she just re-uploads them, so they can't say that about her either. Stop the lies.
When you advertise a different product, when you're in Onpassive and you're advertising a different product or this or that, it almost makes it look like you don't believe in Onpassive. And that's how I feel about it. Am I knocking anyone? No, I'm not knocking anyone. I'm just saying, for me, I've never advertised anything else but Onpassive because I believe in it. Ash has touched on for years, stop chasing the shiny objects.
Chris doesn't realize, but he's actually describing Marty DeGarmo here.
Where have they gotten you? Ask DeGarmo, he'll tell you. Shiny objects look really good. You remember that little story I told you about my fishing box? And I got some of the most prettiest lures you ever saw. And not one of them ever catch a fish. And I pulled out my old rusty, what was it called? Zepco? Can't remember the name. It was a red and white lure full of rust. Zzz, wham, I get a pike and a bass every time.
Onpassive. Its technology is as good as a rusty lure.
It's a proven fact that online, and that's where it's at, shiny objects don't necessarily work. Anyone can come get on here and tell you, you need to drive a Lamborghini. Here's the hot chick. This is what you're going to have. That's one thing Ash Mufareh has never promoted. What he's promoted is good. Help your neighbor. Help your family. Even if they don't like you. Help them. All right? And I don't really know where I'm going with this message, but I just want you to know that this is why we do what we do every day. Because we believe in this. Because it really is all good. There's no evil in it. Some people portray it as, like I said, cult and all. They don't even like talking about, but you know what? Sometimes I want to talk about it. Ash Mufareh is a stand-up guy, and he's normal, and he's got a sense of humor. He's got a big old heart, and he's got a bigger brain. And he constantly thinks of what to do to better all of us. This is why I stay 100% loyal to him, because I know the work he's putting in. I'm not saying you're not doing that, but every one of you could turn your computer off and walk away. He can't walk away. Think about that for a second.
I'm sorry, are we supposed to be like, oh, that poor Ash Mufareh, he can't exit the scam? Because, no. Also, Chris, if you keep up like this, you might be held accountable for all the harm done here, almost as much as Ash is. Remember, this is being sued by the SEC for $108 million, and it could turn into a criminal investigation if Ash continues breaking the damn laws.
No, I ain't watching this webinar. Boom, I'm going to go watch a movie. He's not watching movies. He's not going fishing. He's not doing the things that we're enjoying on a weekly or a daily basis.
How the fuck do you know?
That's how much he believes in this company. That's the work he's putting. That's called sacrificing your own family to make sure this is right for the family. So I just wanted to put that out there. Don't get mad at me. I'm not always Mr. Excitement, even though I like to be. I'm always smiling. But why not? Why not?
If some woman in Canada outing your merchant scam upsets you, wait until O-Connect goes viral.
Negative sells, and Onpassive is positive. In other words, you come in, you check it out, you look into it.
In other words, passive does not sell.
If you don't like what you see, go back to your job. Go build your own company. Again, we're not telling anyone what to do. But I can give my opinion because I'm entitled to it.
As am I, so why are you letting my opinion and me showing evidence that you guys made up merchants to heart so badly, Chris? Jeez. I have the right to review your public business and products.
Stay with Onpassive 100%. If you are doing something else, that's fine and dandy. But it would be like me and Marty every day talking about Onpassive and coming out the next day and say, hey, we're selling these cups for $3.99, the best cups in the world. What would you think of us? Do you understand how that sways me? Like, oh, because I'm going to tell you what, if you're doing that, and I'm not picking anybody, I'm telling you the truth. If you're doing that, they're never going to believe in you because what are you doing? You're jumping from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next.
Well, Chris, Marty every single day comes on here and talks about how he jumped from one thing to one thing to one thing to the next to the next to the next. And none of them worked out, but he's damn sure that Onpassive is going to be the one that works out. So whoever you're talking about in this big spiel, you should maybe talk to your best buddy, Marty DeGarmo there, because he is a serial MLM scammer. And you can try to blame everyone else all you want for making Onpassive look bad, but nobody makes it look worse than you, Marty, and Ash Mufareh.
That is true reality right there. You could do whatever you want. But I want you to think about that. How many friends don't come around anymore because you always got this great idea of, oh, this company's awesome. You got to sell these products. This is what happens. This is why people are in Onpassive right now, because that has happened to all of them.
Oh, so you are aware that Onpassive preys on people who are lonely and maybe isolated from friends and family? Interesting, Chris. Interesting.
And it wasn't that they couldn't make it. The system just wasn't set up for them to make it.
That's right. The MLM system is set up for people to fail, just like Onpassive's MLM system is set up for people to fail. Again, Onpassive is an MLM. What is Ash and Onpassive doing that is different than any of the other MLMs? What makes it the one that's for sure going to work out? Because I'm sorry, but you can't just come out here and be like, well, I run my company with love, with heart, and then have that change the world. What are the actions that make it different? List some for us.
Onpassive's ecosystem is set up where everyone will make it. Now, this is me talking straight from my heart. I want everyone to succeed no matter what. I want you to look at Onpassive in a deeper view and understand what we have and what you're going to go through, the journey you had and the journey after. Because I'm going to tell you one right now, if you haven't been in this journey for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, there was a big learning curve for many things in there. But yet, here we are. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. How many times have you heard that? It's the right thing to do. If Ash Mufareh was trying to sell me Chris, listen, Chris, just get about 1,000 of these, stick them in your garage and people will come. Nah, you all know that don't work.
So why are you forcing a bunch of people to buy O-Connect in order to sell O-Connect and make money off of O-Connect if you know it doesn't work, Chris?
All right, tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure some of you made a few bucks on the side, but you're still here, right? So that tells me you didn't really make a few bucks on the side, but you found something that every MLM company out there said, this is what you need to do. This is what you have to do. You got to sell and you got to do it. And if you don't hit our quota by the end of the month, guess what? You got to start all over again. Did you notice what I said? Have you had to start all over again in Onpassive?
Well, no, because Onpassive just doesn't start. It just doesn't launch. Problem solved, right? Can't be made to start over when you never started to begin with.
How many of you were in a company that you every month, oh, I didn't make it, I got to do it all again? Well, that sucks. You think Ash Mufareh didn't think about that when he was creating Onpassive? No. I don't want these people to start all over ever again. Unlimited. Marty DeGarmo, that's all I got. I'm rambling and I could go on for 15 more hours about it, but sorry. But I love speaking my heart once in a while.
No, it was very good, man. Damn, you blew me away. It made me feel like I was insignificant. I'm just kidding.
Ugh, the love fest between the two of them. Anyway, before they go on to wrap this up and say their goodbyes, earlier on, Chris made a statement about cults that I feel is spreading misinformation about what a cult is. And I just want to take a moment to touch on that quickly.
That was very good. Very, very good.
One of the major misconceptions of cults is that they are fanatical religious groups with compounds and a leader who forces you to live, well, like back when the caveman used to live with Einstein and the dinosaurs. I just want to state that this is a very outdated view on the definition of a cult, especially with the advancement of technology and the fact that many online communities have most recently used the same manipulation tactics as cults to gain a loyal following and have members commit worrisome acts such as NXIVM or Love Has Won. Both of them depended on the internet to pull in their members. So I just want to take a moment and discuss a few things about cults and why I believe Onpassive to be one. Again, I consider Onpassive to be a commercial cult of personality, meaning it is a commercial cult, or what is referred to as a multi-level marketing business, and it is a cult of personality surrounding Ash Mufareh.
My name is Ash Mufareh, and I'm your friend.
I found an article by Very Well Mind that sums all of this up best. A cult is an organized group whose purpose is to dominate cult members through psychological manipulation and pressure strategies. Cults are usually headed by a powerful leader who isolates members from the rest of society. Not necessarily with a compound, but maybe with lots of webinars on the internet and creating an echo chamber in an OES and on ONET. Some individuals who join cults remain lifelong members. Others break free and share how it felt to be brainwashed by a charismatic leader. Would you say that Ash is charismatic, Chris Johnson? But there are also some individuals who leave a cult and report that their experience was positive. Studying cults is difficult for a few different reasons. It's nearly impossible to study active cult members due to their unwillingness to let others into their closed societies. Quite often, they are suspicious of outsiders, and there's usually an us versus them mentality present. Consequently, cults are usually examined from the perspective of former members. But sometimes, individuals are reluctant to talk about their experiences as cult members. For these reasons and others, it can be even tricky to agree on a solid definition of a cult, especially given many of the stereotypes presented in film, TV, and other media, or by people like Chris Johnson who promote cults. Not all cults have to be high-profile groups that make headlines. And unfortunately, it usually takes something very serious happening within the cult before it reaches the headlines. Like in the case of Love Has Won, it didn't really reach the headlines until Amy Carlson was found mummified in a bedroom covered in Christmas tree lights. According to the Cult Education Institute, there are specific warning signs to look out for when considering whether a group might be a cult. As we go through these, think of Onpassive. Cults are characterized by 1. Absolute authoritarianism without accountability. Ash Mufareh.
I'm your friend.
2. Zero tolerance for criticism or question. Does that remind you of Onpassive webinars? 3. Lack of meaningful financial disclosure regarding budget. 4. Unreasonable fears about the outside world that often involve evil conspiracies and persecutions. Like corporate America wants to stop you from saving the world with your technology. So that is why the SEC is after you. 5. A belief that former followers are always wrong for leaving and there is never a legitimate reason for anyone else to leave. See the rant that Chris gave today. 6. Abuse of members. See several of my past live streams. 7. Records, books, articles, or programs documenting the abuses of the leader or group. Maybe a couple YouTube channels. 8. Followers feeling they are never able to be good enough. 9. A belief that the leader is right at all times. 10. A belief that the leader is the exclusive means of knowing truth or giving validation. Only listen to what Ash is saying. Ash is the only one who knows about Onpassive and what it's all about, etc. A major theory about why individuals remain in cults is mostly sociological. Cult leaders often promise to reward members in some way, like with financial freedom, generational wealth, the fame of going viral. They may tell them they're going to move up the ranks within the cult, like in MLMs, or they may convince them that something really good is going to happen to their special group. Some people believe those involved are more like victims rather than members, since they are often subjected to psychological manipulation tactics that lure them into making unhealthy decisions, including unaliving in some cases. Over here, we fear that that will happen when Onpassive doesn't turn out to be what everyone is hoping it's going to be.
Friend.
getting out of a cult can be quite difficult. Some members don't have contact with the outside world. Some members of cults, Chris. So it can be nearly impossible to get help. Others don't have financial resources to find a new place to go. And cults that are MLMs often have members depending on them for their finances. So that complicates things. Anyway, I just wanted to go over that with you because it really bothered me that Chris put out misinformation that in order for a group to be considered a cult, they have to be living on a compound somewhere with some authoritarian leader divvying out their food and whatnot. And that's just not the case. Maybe if Chris educated himself more on cults, he wouldn't be in the position he is in Onpassive today. Anyways, these two are about to wrap it up, so take it away, Marty and Chris. Wrap it up as if you were using a tiny dinger condom. Trademarked, a YouTube streamer's favorite brand.
Hey, everybody, thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. Chris, that was awesome, by the way. Awesome. One of your best speeches ever, I believe.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it was very good. Very good. I was...
the check's in the mail, buddy.
I'll be, yeah.
Oh, get a room.
But don't you really sometimes, we both of us sometimes just want to grab your hearts and say, look at what we got.
No, that's exactly what happened.
Man.
And you try your best, we can just point but that was very good. I think I'm going to stay just because of what you just said. No, I'm staying anyway, but thank you, everybody. I mean that.
If you have a birthday today, happy birthday. It's early.
Yeah, happy birthday.
God
and we'll see you tomorrow, which is Sunday.
Wait. Yeah, well, we might as well call out. You got the heroes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Do not forget to list off the 50 webinars that you have to go to this weekend.
For Sunday.
We could do that Sunday, though, because it's before.
We are joining Jan Steins, I believe, in Germany. She's never done this before. She's got a few people. She's nervous. I'm like, what are you nervous about? So she contacted both of us. I said, let me check my schedule. Marty called me and said, okay, we're going to do a live early today, and we're going to go to see Jan. All right, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Part of shining. You got to go help people, help them whatever they need.
And that is literally where it ends. They really have to work on ending these properly. It always cuts off at the end for them. And that's where this video ends for me as well. Let me know down below what you thought about this. I don't care if Chris and Marty yell at me, but I do care that Chris is spreading misinformation about what a cult is. So I did want to come on here and correct that. I hope that all of you naysayers are having a fabulous weekend. Continue on, and I will see you all on MLM Monday. Mwah! Bye! And remember, don't join it. It's a scam. A pyramid-shaped one. That's really a damn cult.
Be careful. Be careful. Something looks good and you might hear this is going to help. Just be careful.
That other crap channel. Bitch, we winning!
They call me a god. 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 Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation. They call me a god.